Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are doing another dessert today with apples. I'm peeling apples for, you guessed it if you saw the thumbnail, it is going to be a cinnamon swirl apple pie. So I'm starting the process by peeling some Honeycrisp apples. Now I only have 4 apples, so I'm just gonna go with what I have. I'm not going to the store to buy more. It's just gonna be however much it makes, but I think it'll be okay because I don't have a deep dish pie plate. I mean, I do, but it's a Christmas one, so it's packed away. So I just have a regular pie plate, I'm pretty sure. So I don't think I'm gonna need that many apples anyways, it will overflow. So I'm not going with what the recipe calls for. The recipe calls for 8 cups of sliced apples. There's no way 8 cups of apples are gonna fit into one pie plate. So I'm peeling and slicing up the apples. This is the last one. You're gonna put them, slices in a bowl. And then while I'm waiting for the puff pastry to thaw, and then we're gonna get the other ingredients pulled out and ready to go. And then we will come back and I will show you how we're gonna put it all together. I'm so excited. We've got ice cream in the freezer and it's gonna be a good dessert tonight. So let me finish this and then we'll get busy on it. While we're waiting on the puff pastry to finish thawing, this is the one I'm using. It comes with 2 sheets and you need both sheets. One's for the bottom crust, the other is for the top crust. So it's over there, I've already opened it. It's sitting out on a plate to thaw out. So while it is thawing, I'm making the filling. I've already peeled and sliced all the apples. It came out to, looks like 6 cups of apples. So this is probably fine. And we're gonna do the sugar and the flour and everything in here for the filling, mix it up and set it to the side before the apples start to brown. So you're gonna need 3/4 of a cup of sugar. And this is a 1/4 cup measure. And you need 3 tablespoons of flour. That's gonna help thicken the sauce as it bakes. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. You're just gonna stir it all together and make sure all the apples get good and coated and everything. Okay, and we're just gonna set those to the side until we're ready to put them in the pie crust in the pan. All right, well, the puff pastry is almost thawed. So here's the filling that we're gonna use for the crust with the puff pastry. In this bowl I have, oven is preheated, you can hear it, at 350. So in this bowl, I have about 1/3 of a cup of white sugar, 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar, and about 3½ teaspoons of cinnamon. So we're just gonna mix this all together in this bowl. And this is gonna be our filling because we're gonna make little mini cinnamon rolls and make a crust out of that with this puff pastry. And that's gonna be the pie crust, the top and the bottom. We're gonna get this all mixed up so we can sprinkle it on the puff pastry. The recipe did not call for brown sugar. It just called for regular sugar, but I love brown sugar, especially in a cinnamon roll filling. So guess what? I'm making it my own. I'm just basically using this recipe as a guideline. And I'm tweaking it to what I think will taste good. So you do it to what you think will taste good. And then we have about 2 tablespoons of butter that I melted in here. If I need to melt more, then I can. I'm gonna pull out some parchment to roll these on. Okay. And then I have my dish, my pie plate in here, and I've already got it buttered. So see, this is like a regular size. It's not a deep dish. So hopefully all these will fit in here. Set that to the side. I'm gonna start with 1 puff pastry sheet. You're gonna take your rolling pin and you're gonna roll it out. You can just flour your surface and roll it out on that. but that's fine. But for the top crust, you do need the parchment because you're gonna have to get the parchment to lay it on top of the pie. You'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. So what we're gonna do is melted butter. Okay, so 2 tablespoons per pastry sheet. So I'll melt 2 more tablespoons for the other one. So melted butter, and then we're gonna do some, not all of this. Like this. And then you're gonna roll it up like cinnamon roll. I'm gonna cut them, slice it in half, slice it into cinnamon rolls. I'm gonna press those down into the bottom of the pie plate. Okay. And set them in the pie plate like this. At least this is what the recipe said to do. But I think the bottom crust should probably be done like the top crust. But we're gonna do it the way it said. Then it says you're gonna smush them down to where it covers the bottom of the pie plate and it goes up the side of the pie plate as well for your crust. But it probably would have been a better idea to do it the way it tells me to do the top crust, where you roll them out, you put them out on the parchment paper, put another sheet on top, and roll these out into a big crust and then lay it in there like pie crust. Probably would have been easier, but we're gonna learn as we go. At any rate, it'll probably taste good no matter what. Okay, bottom crust. Ready for our apples. Another reason to let them sit for a little while is so that it starts to melt, and then you can stir them around a little bit better and distribute that stuff a little better. I'm gonna put those in there. Yeah, not more than that would fit in this pie plate. Okay, see. Now we're gonna do the same thing with this, like we just did with the second sheet, except I'm gonna slice them and lay them all here instead of in the pie plate. Another sheet of parchment and roll them all out together, and then we will lay that on top of there. Okay, I've got them rolled out like before, only instead of putting them in the pie plate, I put them on this parchment and I kind of stuck them up next to each other. And then we're gonna lay a second sheet on top. We're gonna roll it out. You don't want it to be super, super thick because in the oven, puff pastry puffs up. So you don't want it to be more pastry than filling when it's all said and done. Plus, you want it to be big enough to cover the top of your pie. Probably close enough. It's a pretty pie crust. And then we're going to use this to transfer it to here. There we go. To adjust it a little bit. And don't worry if it kind of comes apart like this, because you were going to cut vent holes anyway. Just kind of scooch it up closer together. And you're going to take your knife and put some little holes in it here and there, like so that it can breathe. Then I forgot on my other apple and cinnamon puff pastry recipe that I will link in the description below, I forgot to put egg wash. So let's don't forget it this time. We're gonna brush the top with an egg wash so it'll be pretty and golden brown. We're gonna stick this in the oven and it's gonna bake at 350 for 40 minutes. 40 minutes. All right, we're gonna let this rest. Yeah, it's done. We're gonna let this rest and then get the ice cream out and let it kind of soften on the countertop while this rests. And then after it cools a little bit and is a little more firm on the inside, we'll cut it and see what it looks like. Been a few minutes, it's rested, got the ice cream ready, got a bowl. Still kind of hot, but we're just gonna go with it. There we go. It looks like it's gonna be yummy. We can't forget the ice cream, because what is apple pie without ice cream, right? Let's do a little bit. There we go. It looks so good. Okay, let's see. That gooey puff pastry. Apples are done, but they're still a little bit crunchy, so you have that bite from the apple. Puff pastry is good. I'm glad I put the brown sugar in there. This is a winner. Definitely go and make you one of these. I went ahead and did it now because sometimes, to me, apples and cinnamon is more of a fall recipe, but what is more American than apple pie? So I figured this would be perfect for like this summer, like 4th of July. If you have to take an apple pie to a cookout or anything like that, maybe do this recipe instead with a little bit of a twist. It was easy and it's so good. So I hope you try it. That's gonna be it for this video. I hope this was helpful for you. If you tried this video, let me know what you think. And I will link the other video that has to do with the apples and the puff pastry in the description box below. I think it's called Inside Out Caramel Apples. Those were amazing as well, if you'd like to try those. And we will see y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye. Love you.